Demi Lovato released episode 1 and 2 of her Dancing with the Devil documentary this week. We watched both episodes. Before we get into talking about it, we're going to put a trigger warning here on this. There's a trigger warning on the episodes before you watch them. We're going to put it here as well, talking about overdose and sexual assault. There are, she really dove headfirst into discussing all of this. So putting a big fat trigger warning on this right here. So if you don't want to listen, you don't need to, but we are going to start recapping both of those episodes. Okay, Demi and her first 2 documentary episodes. We have been waiting for this. We've been excited to watch, and she really also shared a lot about the actual drug experience, really getting into what exactly she was taking, and even like including pictures that she must have just taken herself, that she's like, well, I'm going to put this in there. You know, they showed a picture. It was like Demi on crack for the first time. It was like up close, like selfie of her face that she must have taken herself, that she had put into the documentary. And it was also really interesting because they were filming a tour documentary before the overdose. So they had all this footage from 2018 that they just never used because it was, they scrapped the project after the overdose. So seeing her talk now, but also still having that footage from 2018 of the period like before the overdose, when you could just see in her face that that she didn't look fully happy and didn't really look like, it just looked like she was forcing a lot of stuff. It's just really, really crazy to see how she was like speaking about her life in 2018 and then seeing her speak about it now, and for a consumer watching those things at the same time, like because we were getting both sets of footage at the same time into one documentary. And just it's so crazy for her friends too, to kind of share their experience and how they got through all this and they didn't really know what was happening, on top of her family. Her former assistant sat down and talked to them about it. Like, seeing her speak about this is like, it's gut wrenching, because you hear her say like, I went downstairs and called 911, but like in secret because I didn't want to get in trouble. Right? Like, imagine, she saved her life. Demi had said, if the doctors had said I really only had like 5-10 more minutes, and that would have been it. So the details of that overdose, and then also being in the hospital, we knew that there were medical problems afterwards, but not really as extensive as she said. The strokes, the blind spots, she can't drive anymore, waking up and really being legally blind, having her little sister at her side and not being able to see her, was like, sobbing. You're watching this and it's just so emotional.
Yeah. When she put it in perspective and said that her mom told her if she didn't get sober that she would not be able to see her sister again. And then when she overdosed and was blind, when she woke up and couldn't see her sister sitting next to her, she said that that's not what her mom meant, but it's freaky that ended up happening. Like, she literally couldn't see her sister because she overdosed. And the whole thing is just, it's amazing to see Demi come out on the other side of it, because there are so many people who are obviously not fortunate enough, and she was able to come out on the other side of it. And it seems like she said that she was in search of something that was missing from her life, and I think she thought she would get it from drugs, and she thought it would come from heroin or meth or crack. And it's a spiritual journey that she's been on for the last few months that was the missing puzzle piece to her life. So it seems like this spiritual journey that she has been on now is what's helping her get through whatever she needs to get through, and also giving her that little piece of her life that she had felt was missing, and why she turned to drugs. And I think that she is not 100% sober. I think that's been stated. I think she smokes weed, and I think that she may drink a little bit. I'm not exactly sure on what that means. I'm pretty sure she used the term, I read, California sober.
She's California sober, I don't think it's what she said.
Yeah. But it's amazing to see the turnaround that she's had, and the friends and the family who have stuck by her, and for her to be so open and honest in these documentaries is just, I want to say great, but the whole story is very sad, and it's very emotional, it's very raw, and it's very heartbreaking. But I think it's great for her to be so honest, because I feel like that may help her in the end, and also help other people.
It definitely does. She does not hold back. She's showing us this footage. She's talking about her relationship, with her dad, and how losing him, and being able to work through some of these things, and body issues, and how like the sketches, this footage from 2018 of like the sketches of her wardrobe for her tour, and how the sketches are always these tall, super thin, like it looks beautiful in the sketch, but then you got to wear it on your own body, and if you're not comfortable with that, how that affected her. And like I said, did not really hold back at all. Felt like she didn't really hold back on any details. They went and shared everything with the world. We didn't know that night when she had overdosed and heard that drug dealer was over, that not only were the drugs supplied, but there was a sexual assault where she was basically, left for dead. Like it's details that you wouldn't expect her to share, but she is completely open and sharing this story. And like I said, when we talked about just the trailer for this documentary, I really hope it's a way for her to sit down, lay everything on the table, be like, here is exactly what happened. And then at the end, close the book and be like, now I move forward and away from that part of my life.